Ever stop to think that the happiest people in their later years didn't just get lucky? They didn't sit around hoping joy would find them like a winning lottery ticket. Nope, they built it step by step, day by day, with real intention, and their happiness didn't come from money, luck, or a problem-free life. It came from living with awareness, from developing a deep kind of wisdom that grows with time and experience. If you're between 65 and 80, here's something important. This stage of life isn't about slowing down or fading into the background. It can actually be one of the richest, most fulfilling chapters you've ever lived. But joy won't just land in your lap. It's something you build patiently through your mindset, your habits, and your daily choices. Some folks reach this age with a deep, calm kind of peace inside. Others feel stuck, haunted by regrets, wrapped in loneliness, or drained by a sense of emptiness. So what separates them? What's the difference between those who thrive and those who just survive? Here's the deal. The happiest older folks aren't the ones who avoided every challenge. They're the ones who learn how to ride life's waves with grace. They don't fight the storm, they learn how to surf it. And in this video, we're gonna talk about 5 powerful life lessons that these people live by. Not surface level stuff, real eye-opening wisdom that can totally shift the way you see this phase of your life. If you stick around, you might just come out on the other side with a new perspective. One where peace runs deeper, purpose feels clearer, and happiness doesn't feel so far away anymore. Let's get into it. 1. Learn to let go of what you can't control. One of the things that wears us down the most in life, trying to control stuff that was never ours to control in the first place. The older you get, the clearer that becomes. Your body changes, the world keeps spinning with or without your permission, and people, they're gonna make their own choices, whether you agree with them or not. That's where real wisdom kicks in. The calmest, happiest folks over 65 have figured something out. Peace doesn't come from controlling everything, it comes from knowing when to let go. Think back for a second, remember that thing you stressed about for weeks, maybe months, lost sleep over it, kept replaying it in your head. And in the end, did all that worrying actually change the outcome? Probably not, but it sure stole your joy, didn't it? Whether it was a family drama that didn't go your way or a decision someone made that you wished you could have reversed. The truth is, life doesn't always follow your script, and spoiler alert, it never will. But here's the good news. You might not be able to control life, but you can control how you respond to it. That's the real power. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means knowing what's out of your hands and putting your energy into what is in your hands. You can't stop aging, but you can eat right, stay active, and keep your body strong. You can't make people act the way you want them to, but you can decide how you treat them, how you speak, and what kind of energy you bring into the room. Take Pa, for example. He's 74, used to get upset that his kids didn't call as often as he wished, started wondering, do they even care about me anymore? That thought just sat with him, eating away at his peace, until one day he had a light bulb moment. He realized all that waiting and sulking wasn't helping, it was hurting, so he flipped the script, picked up the phone and called them, accepted that they were busy and chose understanding over resentment, and guess what? The connection started to grow again. Why? Because he took control of the one thing he could, his own behavior. Peace in your later years isn't about holding the reins tighter. It's about loosening your grip where you need to. When you stop trying to force everything to go your way, you unlock a freedom most people spend their whole lives chasing. That's when you stop surviving and actually start living too. Choose connection over isolation. One of the toughest emotional battles we face as we get older, loneliness, and it doesn't show up with a bang, it sneaks in, quiet and slow. One friend moves away, then your kids get caught up in their own busy lives. And before you know it, the days feel longer, the house feels quieter, and conversations feel like a rare event. Suddenly, your morning coffee's only soundtrack is the ticking of the clock on the wall. But here's the thing, the happiest people over 65, they don't just sit back and accept that this is how it has to be. They fight back. How? By making connection a priority, because humans aren't built to be alone. We're wired for community, for belonging. We thrive when we feel seen, heard, and connected. And science backs that up. Studies show that strong social connections aren't just good for your mood, they're good for your body. People with deep, lasting relationships live longer, have lower rates of depression, and even keep their memory sharper. But let's be real, connection doesn't just fall in your lap, it takes effort. Just like watering a garden, relationships need attention and care. You've got to put yourself out there, stay open, and be intentional about meeting people, keeping in touch, and staying engaged. Take Helen, 78, after her husband passed. She started spending more and more time alone. At first, the silence felt peaceful. But over time, it got heavy, like she was fading into the background. One day, she decided to do something about it. She joined a local book club, then a walking group in her neighborhood. Those tiny steps, they led to big changes. Her world started to open up again. The conversations, the laughter, they came back. So did that spark she hadn't felt in years. And don't think you have to be some outgoing social butterfly to connect. Sometimes all it takes is calling up an old friend, joining a hobby group, or just saying hi to your neighbor while you're grabbing the mail. The key is to reach out even when staying home feels easier. So if you're still watching and something here resonates with you, drop a number 2 in the comments, let us know you're here. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that button and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos like this. Your support helps us keep making content that uplifts and inspires. Now let's keep going, there's more ahead. 3. Focus on growth, not just getting through the day. Getting older doesn't mean you stop growing. If anything, it means you shouldn't. The happiest folks over 65 know something important. Personal growth isn't just for the young, it's for anyone who wants to stay mentally sharp, emotionally alive, and truly engage with life. But here's the thing, too many people, once they retire, slide into autopilot. Wake up, go through the motions, kill time, repeat. They stop living and start just existing. What they don't realize is that life's still out there, still calling your name. You've just gotta listen. That's what Richard did. He retired at 72, spent his whole life working hard, raising a family, handling his responsibilities like a champ. But once the hustle stopped, so did the noise, and what he was left with was silence. And in that silence, he felt lost, like he didn't know who he was anymore. Instead of letting that feeling swallow him up, he made a move. He went after something that had always lived in the back of his mind, learning to play the piano. At first, his fingers stumbled over the keys, the notes were clunky, but he didn't care. Mainly, it wasn't about being perfect, it was about waking up his brain, keeping his hands busy, and letting his heart feel excited again. And little by little, the music started bringing color back into his world. Now, your version of growth might look totally different. Maybe it's picking up a new language, finally writing that memoir, learning how to paint, joining a book club, or even just taking a new route on your morning walk. Growth isn't always big and flashy, it's about choosing to participate in life instead of just watching it go by. Your brain's like a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens, but if you challenge it, stretch it, feed it with new experiences, it thrives. And yeah, the science backs that up. Staying mentally active slows cognitive decline and lowers your risk for stuff like Alzheimer's. But honestly, beyond the science, there's something powerful about knowing you can still learn, still evolve, still surprise yourself. So here's your moment to be real. What's that one thing you've always wanted to do, but kept pushing off? Maybe you told yourself, it's too late. Maybe you thought, I don't have the time. Well, here's the truth. Now is exactly the time. The happiest people don't wait for life to knock on their door. They go out, find the handle, and open it themselves. If this part hit home for you, drop a number 3 in the comments. Let us know you're still with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Smash that button, hit the bell, and stay connected to content that fuels you. Let's keep it moving, we're not done yet. 4. Choose people who lift you up. Let's be real, some people drain the life right out of you. Spend 1 hour with them and you feel like you need a nap and a shot of espresso. But then there are others, the ones who light up the room just by showing up. Their energy lifts yours, their words leave you feeling better, not worse. The happiest older adults, they know the difference very well. To them, relationships aren't just ways to pass the time, they're what color life, fuel the soul, and keep the heart alive. That's why the most peaceful people over 65 are very intentional about who they let into their space. They put up healthy boundaries with folks who constantly complain, always see the negative, or just bring the vibe down, and instead they open the door to people who bring joy, kindness, and light into their world. Look at Helen Shez, 74. For a long time, her friend group was all about talking doom and gloom, health problems, family drama, and how the world was basically falling apart. After every meetup, she felt more drained, more down. Then one day, she reconnected with an old friend, someone with a totally different mindset. Instead of griping about life, this friend talked about the book she was reading, places she wanted to travel to, and how grateful she was for the little things like the smell of her morning coffee after hanging out with her. Helen felt alive again, her energy came back. And that's when it hit her, how you feel day to day has everything to do with who you spend your time with. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, it chips away at your joy, slowly, quietly. But if you're around people who are positive, supportive, and full of life, that energy fills you up. keeps your spirit strong. Now, this isn't about cutting everyone off cold. It's about being mindful of who gets your time, your heart, your attention. Because good relationships don't just make you feel better, they make you healthier. Science backs that up. Older adults with strong social connections live longer, face less depression, and even experience less physical pain. Laughter, good conversation, and shared moments, they literally trigger good chemicals in your brain. Real talk, it's medicine. So ask yourself honestly, who lifts you up? Who brings you down? Your answer says a lot about your quality of life. The happiest people don't avoid this. Question, they lean into it. They learn to let go of draining connections with grace and invest in the ones that truly matter. If you're still here and this message speaks to you, drop a number 4 in the comments to let us know you're with us. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's your moment. Hit that button, turn on the bell, and keep walking this journey with us. All right, let's move on to the next one. This next part matters big time. 5. Keep learning and keep pushing yourself. One of the biggest secrets to staying happy as you get older. Don't lose your curiosity, seriously. A lot of people slow down with age, start letting go of things, and yeah, sometimes that's needed, but the ones who stay really alive, they never stop learning. For them, life isn't about reaching some finish line, it's about growing, discovering, and staying open to new things every single day. Take Robert 68. When he first retired, he actually loved the slower pace of life. Sleeping in, quiet mornings, no work emails, but over time, something started to feel off. Like something inside him was fading. The days kept passing, but nothing was feeding his soul, so he decided to try something new, painting. He'd never touched a brush in his life. His first attempts, let's just say they looked like kindergarten art, but he kept at it. Line by line, stroke by stroke, he started to come alive again, and before long, painting became something he looked forward to every single day. And it didn't just wake up his creativity, it introduced him to other people who shared that spark. He built new friendships, had deep convos, found a new community. All from picking up a paintbrush. Now, painting might not be your thing. Maybe it's learning a language, trying out an instrument, writing your life story, or diving into books on stuff that fascinates you. Doesn't have to be anything flashy. The key is giving your brain something to chew on. Because just like your body, your brain gets stronger the more you use it. And here's the real kicker. Staying mentally active isn't just good for your mind, it's good for your health too. Research shows that lifelong learners don't just feel better, they live better. They've got lower risks of dementia, better moods, and longer lives. You don't need a huge project or a 5-year plan. Just something that excites you, something that makes you want to get up in the morning. Growth lives just outside your comfort zone. Every time you stretch, try something new, or tackle a small challenge, you sharpen your mind and reignite your spirit. The happiest older adults know this. Curiosity doesn't die with age. It grows if you feed it. These folks don't fear change, they lean into it. They stay tuned into the world. They keep asking questions, they keep chasing wonder, because learning isn't just about information, it's about staying fully alive. And now here we are at the end of this little journey, but you know what? Aging isn't the finish line most people think it is. It's not the closing chapter, it's the start of something completely new. And with these 5 powerful truths in your back pocket, you've got everything you need to make these years full of purpose, peace, and joy. But before we wrap it up for real, let's take a minute for some final thoughts. Stick with me, we're almost there. Final thoughts. Happiness in your later years isn't some magical gift that falls from the sky. It's something you build, brick by brick, day by day, through your choices, your awareness, and your effort. It's not about creating a perfect life. It's about choosing over and over again to take steps that bring you peace, purpose, and real fulfillment. The most content and grounded seniors out there. They're not the ones who had the easiest path. They're the ones who figured out what really matters and stripped away the rest. They stay close with the people they love. They practice gratitude like it's a daily ritual. They let go of emotional baggage that no longer serves them. They take care of their bodies, and most of all, they keep their minds awake because they know this. Happiness isn't a guest that just shows up. It's a garden you water with care, with love, and with intention. Maybe lately you've been feeling like life's slowing down. Maybe the excitement just isn't there like it used to be. That's totally okay, but don't forget this chapter. It's just as valuable as the ones before it. Maybe even more so. You're moving slower. Yeah, but with that comes awareness. You finally get to enjoy the little things you used to rush past. So take a second and ask yourself honestly, out of these 5 truths we talked about, which ones are already part of your life and which ones could use a little more attention? Big or small, it all counts. Let today be your fresh start. Live on purpose, move toward what lights you up, and don't take a single moment for granted. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Drop a comment below and tell us what hit home for you in this video. What are you taking with you, and how do you plan to use it in your own life? We love hearing your thoughts. They inspire us and keep us going. If you found this video helpful, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Your support helps this community grow and keeps this kind of content alive. Thanks again for watching. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next one.